All right, so let's look at this problem that we have. We have our A times our X vector equals B. All right, so what we'd like to do is to do some matrix manipulations to get the items on the left-hand side, whatever is pre-multiplying this vector right here, into an identity matrix. So let's see what we can do here. Forget about the stuff on the bottom. Right now, what I want to do is I want to get rid of these off diagonals. All right, so what I'm going to do is I guess I can take the 4 times negative 3. So I have a 4 times 3 and a negative 3 times 4, and I'm going to end up with a 0 there. And over here, I have a 3 times 2 and a negative 2, so I'm going to get a 0 there. All right, but when I multiply all this stuff out, sorry about that. All right, so the first row times first column ends up giving me a negative 1. Second row, second column gives me a 1. All right, so that's almost the identity matrix. All right, so I get negative 1, 0, 0, 1. All right, so if I multiply by negative 1 up here, the first row times first column will give me a 1. First row times second column is 0. Second row times first column. Second row times first column will give me 0 times negative 1 plus 1 times 0. And first row times second column will give me my 1. All right, so what did I do? I multiplied by this on both sides, which gave me that on the left-hand side. Then I multiplied by negative 1, 0, 0, negative 1 on both sides. And so when I multiply, so what do I have here? I have the identity matrix, which gets me down to xy. So this item right here, this has to be my A inverse. Well, that looks bad. Here is my A inverse. All right, so when I solve for this, for x and y, what do I have? I have negative 4 times 12. What is that? That's negative 48 plus 3 times 15, which is 45. So that's the first item. And then I have 3 times 12 is 36. Minus 2 times 15 is minus 30. And so when all is said and done, this is negative 3, and that's 6. Hey, I got the answer. Cool. So this is the inverse. So this is kind of a long way of doing it, and if we have a 5 by 5 or something even bigger, we certainly don't want to do this. So this is why it's nice to have some software. And so when we have Excel, what I have is my A matrix. It's the 2 by 2, and I can find the inverse by, well, typing in MI inverse of the A matrix. And so if I hit enter, I'll get some weird stuff. So I only get this thing. So what I need to do, go up here, I go Control Shift Enter, and I get my inverse. And whoa, cool, it's exactly what we had in the notes. All right, so if I want to solve for xy, what I want is, let's see, what I want to solve for xy, I want A inverse B. So it's the negative 4, 3, 3, negative 2 times the 12 and 15. And I'll do this in Excel. All right, so I can do this a couple ways. I can take the matrix multiplication of A inverse, comma, times the B. Now I like Control Shift entering. So I got it, yay. But we can embed the functions within the mmult. So we can go mmult times the m inverse of A times the B. Control-Shift-Enter, and so I get the same answer. So I don't know, for all you guys who've done R, I created a 2x2 matrix, and I'm reading it by rows. So it'll be across 2 and 3 in row 1, and then 3 and 4 in row 2. I create my B matrix, and in Excel, the inverse, not Excel, what is this R? In R, the inverse is referred to as solve A. So this is the inverse. And so what am I going to do here? So we can find the answers, the 2x1 vector, by saying A inverse B, or we can go solve A, which is the inverse of A times B. And the matrix multiplication is percent sign, star percent sign. Or we can just go solve AB. So A is the matrix on the left-hand side, B is the matrix on the right-hand side. So if we look at all this stuff, man, get rid of all that. And so it works, which is good. So I created my 2x2 matrix. Here's my B matrix right here. Solve, A gives me the answer. And no matter how I do it, I get x is -3, y is 6. Okay, so let's see what we can do also. So let's say we have the transpose T of A. Oh, let's go A. And then we're going to go transpose of A. All right, so what we see is the first row becomes the first column, 2 and 3, and the second row becomes the second column, 3 and 4. So how do you do this in Excel? The transpose in Excel, you have to spell it all out. Transpose, this dude right here. I screwed up because I need to fill in the entire set of 2x2. Oh yeah, you got to spell it right too. Right there it is. First row becomes first column, second row becomes second column. All right, that's enough on this. We'll talk about something a little bit more interesting next time.